Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, we know how bad the finances are in Scotland, but actually, you don't know how bad they are because they are way, way worse than you could possibly ever imagine. And indeed, they're so bad that reports that were meant to come out and be published were delayed until after the general election because they didn't want to have a complete and utter rejection of the SNP if people realised how bad they'd got and mangled the finances and the economy. So they managed to get 9 seats. Imagine how few they'd have got if the truth had have come out. It is absolutely dire, and it is very cynical of the way that they delayed all these reports. And they knew what they were doing, and they were deliberately hiding them. They did not want the people of Scotland to know the truth. Because again, and I say this a lot, for the SNP, the truth is utterly destructive. It is anathema to them, because they know if people knew the truth, people would reject them roundly, soundly, and immediately. They'd lose a lot of their own supporters if the truth were known. And so reports like the medium-term planning report, like the public sector reform report, like the capital plan report, these are very big, important things that should be out there in the public knowledge and should have been published alongside last year's budget 8 months ago. And they were kept behind so that they could be filtered out after the election. They still have not yet been released. And I think it won't be until this year that they publish last year's reports. So they'll go out with this year's budget, by which time, of course, they'll be a year out of date and a load of old rubbish. They won't even publish this year's report alongside the budget because, again, it will be horrific for the people of Scotland to see how bad and mangled the finances are. And yet they keep trying to blame Westminster. They blame the Tories. They're blaming Rachel Reeves. They're blaming everybody. But it isn't everybody. It's them. It's 17 years of mismanagement of the economy. They've got all these powers. They've got the spending powers. They've got the rights to do anything they like. And they're doing it badly. And of course, this is why no one wants to talk about it. No one in government wants to talk about it. Shush, it's a little secret. It's our little secret. If we don't mention it, nobody will know. And then they'll try and sneak it out at 3 a.m. on a busy news day in the vain hope that nobody actually looks at it and discovers that they've made a complete pig's ear of everything. But there was a report published yesterday afternoon, which is the Scottish Fiscal Commission's report, and this warned that the SNP would need to make what they call difficult decisions. What that means is massive cuts and massive tax rises, the same as what Rachel Reeves will do at the end of October. And the reason? Well, they've overspent again. They're not going to close down the pretendy embassies, and they're not going to cut back on Angus travelling the world first class. No. But they will cut things like social care, like road repairs, like education, things that aren't that important to them. But people of Scotland will have to put up with it, and they'll have to bite it, and they'll have to sit there and go, yeah, but that's fine, because we voted the SNP in. And when all these people are lying there dying in hospital because the medicine bill hasn't been paid for, or your kids aren't getting educated, don't be blaming Westminster. Nothing to do with them. Look to yourselves. Look to see who you voted for. And if you voted for the SNP, then you should be ashamed because you've done it to yourselves. That, of course, is why there's only 9 SNP MPs now. People are waking up. They're wising up. They're smelling the coffee and they're seeing reality. And you know what? Reality sucks. And so it's no wonder that the SNP keep hiding all these reports. It is way, way worse than you think. And come December, you'll find this out. And it isn't going to be pretty. And then, of course, at that point, you'll be thinking, elections coming up. Where shall I vote? Well, it won't be SNP, will it? Not unless you're completely retarded. Thanks a lot. Bye.